Here we are back again as I come to quote unquote rant and complain about the happenings of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but I'm going to start off by saying about the main topic of this video, of course, and that being Jujutsu Kaisen ending way too early. Way too early. Now, from what I remember, from what I read previously, JJK as a manga started back in it started all the way back in 2018, and it's gonna currently come to an end around 2024. Yeah, 2024. I was gonna say 2025, but nah. I saw somebody on Twitter say that the manga is gonna actually end on September 30th, and I feel like that's a damn shame, man. A damn fucking shame. You see, JJK is not a bad anime. It's not. It's definitely not a bad anime. For what the anime gives us, it's one of the better anime out there, definitely. But and this is the thing that and it's funny to me how people rag on Attack on Titan for one bad ending, but they don't really talk about. Well, I don't want to say the ending is bad. I mean, that's subjective, of course, but they always rag on the one disappointing ending, but they never point out the rest of AOT. They never point out how fleshed out the characters were, even before, some of the characters died, How fleshed out some of the characters were and how Isayama got out as much as he could from every other character on that cast, as much as he could have. Now, of course, not everyone is going to be you know, the best written character in the conversation for being the best written character, but Isayama took the time and took the effort and took the patience for over a decade and a half, maybe. I don't even know when he started writing Attack on Titan, but he took the time and the patience for over a decade or two, probably, to write and flesh out Attack on Titan and give us one of the greatest shows that we've ever read, seen, or even heard of in history. And I see some of these people ragging on Attack on Titan, but they never actually talk about their own shows. How animes like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man and animes like that, and they're all great shows, but they never take the time to flesh out their cast of characters. They're so story heavy, and I know many fans are with that. I know many fans like to only focus on the main game, the main storyline of the video game, and they don't really care about the side quests or the side stories. But as me as a fan and me as a video game fan too, I love to scope out the whole world of a show or an anime. Like, I would have loved to have seen more from Chainsaw Man Part 1, even though it's one of the best manga I've ever read. I would have loved to have seen more from the world of Chainsaw Man. I would have loved to have seen more dynamics and more arcs get together. I mean, same thing with Naruto, like in Naruto Part 1, with Naruto and Sasuke. I would have loved to have seen an arc before the Sasuke retrieval arc, because that way you would have given me a reason to care even more about Naruto and Sasuke and the fight that's coming up between them and the dynamic between them. Because watching it firsthand, I mean, I cared about Naruto, but Sasuke, I would have loved to have seen more from Sasuke's side of things. And I know, I like, and I know, and I know people are gonna complain about me complaining, but and again, I'm gonna say this one more time because I know there's a lot of soft people out there. I know everybody nowadays, like this modern society of people are soft and they can't take criticism or any type of quote unquote hate or rants being thrown at their favorite show. But what I'm saying, and it's the truth in some way, shape, or form. And I'm trying not to yell because I don't want this to come off as a rant. I want to come at to you or to anybody listening as me talking to you and me explaining my side of things. There's anime out there like One Piece and Gintama, and even Hunter x Hunter. We've never seen the full scope of Hunter x Hunter, but you got anime like Gintama and One Piece that actually take the time to flesh out their characters. They take the time to flesh out their own world. They take the time to get in all of these quote unquote side quests and side stories that might not be interesting to many people, but to me it is. Because as a fan of watching the main character and his world, I want to see more dynamics, more world building, more exploration, you know? You can be a story heavy fan. I mean, that's cool, but I'm more of a fan of the world building. I'm more of a fan of the different character dynamics, the different, because when it comes to more character dynamics, then that means the main character himself is going to have to make more choices and more decisions, and the world around him is going to come crumbling down or whatever, you know? Like more possibilities, basically, which isn't really given in animes like JJK, Chainsaw Man, and even Demon Slayer. There are, like, the animes that I mentioned are good, like I said, but they don't really flesh out their characters, and I'm rambling on because JJK is ending way too early, and you can make the same argument for Demon Slayer too. Like, there's other characters in Demon Slayer that can be fleshed out more than just giving a simple backstory. Like, not every single character in your show needs a goddamn backstory to be interesting. And if you're just showing me a backstory for every single character, then why am I gonna care about them? You know? You can make the same argument with One Piece, but One Piece actually takes the time to flesh out their characters without the backstory having to take full precedent over their character development, you know? Now, backstories do help to explain certain aspects of the story, but, you know? And One Piece does have a lot of backstories. They do. And I can see Demon Slayer taking after One Piece. But the thing is, One Piece has so many characters that are fleshed out and well written to the point where the backstories doesn't bother a fan like myself. Now, again, I said I don't know what I'm going to name this video. I don't know what I'm going to title this video to be. But I want you to look at this wallpaper I put up right here. I want you to pick out, like, at least, I mean, the only character, and it's funny to me how the more popular they get, the more the idiots want to ramble on this certain character. But if you look at all of these cast of characters right here, the only one that's fleshed out completely is Yuji. Like, I don't like I mean Ghetto, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other good characters right here, but Yuji is the most fleshed out character out of all of them. And yet it's funny to me how people want to rag on him saying he's a basic character, he only does one move, when I don't care. Like, his moveset makes sense. Yes, he's a basic character and he only does martial arts stuff. But it makes sense. He's living in a world, he's living in a complex world where he can only get by with punches and kicks. And that's the point of his character. Like, how boring do you think the plot would be if Yuji was to bring out, like, a curse, like if he was to, I don't know, like if he was to, like, have a domain every single arc. Like, it's funny to me how people like to point out how boring Yuji is, but Yuji having these quote unquote boring tendencies make him more interesting. It makes him more relatable. It makes him more grounded. Again, I hate the anime community. I truly do, because they don't get writing. They always complain about dumb shit. Yuji is the best written character out of all of these cast of characters right here. And don't get me wrong, half, if not most of these characters are very interesting, but in the grand scheme of things, none of them are that fleshed out. Nobara is not fleshed out. Now, I haven't read the manga, but I heard Nobara came back. Like, Gege basically wasted her character over, from what I've heard, 150 chapters. Think about how much character development Nobara could have gotten after the Shibuya arc. Think about how much development she could have gotten after the Shibuya arc basically changed her life and that she only has one eye. Like, it's ridiculous to me. Like, think about how much development Megumi could have got. We didn't get that much development. Megumi was the same guy after the Shibuya arc. He just got more depressed. We didn't get nothing from Megumi. Like, dog. Inumaki. Like, do we even see Inumaki after the arc? I mean, I know the guy only has one arm, but I would have loved to have seen how he's coping with only having one arm, considering that the world has gone to hell now. Like, it's basically an apocalypse, right? Like, it's only curses around. I want to see how he's managing to get by. Like, who else? I don't think we see Mei Mei. That's for good reason. I would have loved to have seen more Mei Mei. I don't know if we see her or not because she's moved somewhere else, which does go along with her character. We don't really get that much from Gojo. I think the best character writing that Gojo actually has in the entire show was the Hidden Inventory arc, and that arc was literally only 5 episodes long. Do you know how much longer that arc could have been? Do you know how much more development we could have gotten from characters like Shoko? I would have loved to have seen a Shoko episode. I know Gege is capable of it. Like, look at how many good written characters Gege has created, yet he can't. But he doesn't choose to act on some of these, on the characters that he's created, and it's frustrating to me. Nobara, look, for all the shit that Sakura gets, Gege could have shown Kishimoto how to write a proper female MC. I'm not saying she had to have been on Noelle level, but she could have been a good written MC, and she is a pretty decent written character, but there's nothing to, like, there's no development, there's nothing. I would have loved to have seen, I don't know, like, her get more ferocious, or, like, right. I mean, look at Maki here. I mean, Maki's a good written character too, but I wouldn't particularly call that character development. She only got more cool and more stronger. I mean, that's just me, though. I mean, you can tell me what I saw, what I read, bro. I read the Zenin Clan Massacre, I think, like a year ago. Like, you can tell me what I saw or what I read. But, I mean, we could have gotten more from Maki's character, bro. We could have gotten more, probably, from Mai's character. Like, we could have gotten more missions, more time spent with all of these sorcerers. And yet we don't really get that much time with them, and that's a big issue. Miwa! I didn't even see her right there. Miwa! We could have gotten more time with Miwa, bro. We could have gotten more character from Miwa and how Kokuchi's life and his sacrifice affected her, but we never get anything from Gege afterwards. And it's a damn shame. It's frustrating, it really is. And it's not even just JJK, it's these new gen animes as a whole. They don't, My Hero Academia, from what I've heard, they don't flesh out Class 1A. Why is that? You've written all of these characters and you can't flesh all of them out? I would have loved to have seen a couple of solo arcs with some of these characters, man. Again, it's a damn shame, bro. And I'm looking on my TV right now, bro. It's like the majority of analysis videos only come from Yuji. and the reason is because he's the most fleshed out character in the show. Now, there are some characters in the show that are perfectly written, like Nanami, for example, because he's lived his life to the fullest. You know, he's seen the lights and the darks of the JJK world. He has a perfectly written character. But the point of me making this video, and again for the third time, I don't know what I'm going to title this video. The problem I have with anime, new gen anime as a whole, is that they don't take the time to flesh out their characters. They don't. They try. They do try, and they do a good job at doing that. But overall, when you compare it to an anime like One Piece, or even an anime like Gintama, for example, they don't flesh out their characters properly. They don't. And I'm trying not to yell. I'm not even going to rant. I'm trying to talk as quietly as I can because I'm in the house with somebody right now. And they're taking a shower upstairs, so I don't want them to think I'm some sort of lunatic. But Yeah, man. I don't know. And then I'm gonna start complaining, and then people are gonna say, "Oh, why are you ranting? Just watch the show for what it is." I enjoy JJK now for over like for like 2 or 3 years now, man. Ever since 2020 when I heard the anime was coming out, I've enjoyed this show. It's one of my favorite animes and manga. But I have a right to speak my opinion. I have a right to say that some of these characters, if not most of these characters, should have been more properly written. Now, I personally would have loved to have seen why can't Kenjaku and Geto exist as two separate entities? Why do they have to be? Honestly, I'm starting to question why is Kenjaku even alive? Why couldn't Geto be the final boss of the show? Why couldn't Geto? Why couldn't Geto have been the one that outsmarted Gojo? You know, why couldn't that have been Geto looking at Gojo in the subway arc, or in a season 2 episode 9 when he was fighting off all those curses? Why couldn't that have been Geto staring at Gojo? We missed out we missed out on so much development for Geto. Like, it's ridiculous. Geto was like easily top 5 written characters in JJK, and the guy doesn't even get a proper run. Like, the guy only has like what 5 episodes in a movie. I don't even know. The only guy I know in that group's name is Mimiko, Nanako, and Miguel. I didn't even know Mimiko and Nanako because, well, Mimiko I kind of knew because Sakuna killed her, but I didn't even know their names until I saw like some guy's video saying that he was disappointed in the Shibuya arc, and literally, and I'll put his link in the description, but everything that he said was true. It, like, the Shibuya arc is a really good arc, but overall, think about how many other characters that could have been impacted by the arc that we don't really see after the arc. JJK is story heavy, and that's a good thing, but at the same time, it takes away some development from other characters that could get properly fleshed out. Yuta, for example. Yuta. I love Yuta. Yuta's one of my favorite characters in the show, but the guy literally gets like a whole movie, like 4 chapters to get fleshed out. I would have loved to have seen at least a 12 episode arc, like a 12 or 13 episode arc of him getting development, because like, bro, JJK Zero is too short. Like, man, like, we could have seen Yuta get more proper development, Geto get more proper development. We could have seen some more scenes with Geto's family and why he cares about them and how he's come to know them and why they're a part of Geto's group and what their goal is, and how they agree with Geto, and like, there's so many things that they missed out on. Like, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, man.